I am Beta, your source for games in development, and I have fallen in love with The Secret World. The Secret World is an MMORPG by Funcom and EA. It will be a subscription-based game, which makes me so sad. I'll tell you why. First, The Secret World is a modern-day RPG about evil things that lurk in dark corners and under beds, and the conflicting secret organizations that fight them. I was pretty skeptical, because Secret World has styled itself as somewhat of a horror game. It would be a little difficult not to be classified that way, when players are fighting zombies, demons, and vampires, and magical black goo viruses. I am not a fan of survival horror games. The last time I had fun in a horror game was the Alone in the Dark series, games 1 and 2. Years ago. Forever ago. And by today's standards, those games are pretty tame. I'm a wimp. Whatever. I like what I like. The difference between The Secret World and other survival horror games is that The Secret World does not make you helpless. That's how most horror games and movies work. They limit what the characters can do against the scary things, and yes, that is the point of this genre. It creates tension, all games have limits, blah 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 blah. I don't like it. I never have. At least let me throw a chair or do something at whatever nightmare is about to rip me apart. Instead, my character has to sit there, wetting themselves as they get eaten. The Secret World gives you power to beat back the nightmares. They throw zombies and demons at you, and they are startling and creepy, but then the developers tell you, here, use this to kill the baddies, but do it smartly because you aren't invincible. And the glorious combat starts, and it feels great. Fighting monsters in The Secret World is fun. The combat system is based around a set of 14 ability slots, 7 active and 7 passive, and each of these abilities come from different weapon specializations, from chaos magic to shotguns, assault rifles to sledgehammers and elemental magic. You can specialize in one weapon type or mix and match it to your liking. There is a ton of freedom in the combat system, and that is what makes it fun. I really like it. Unfortunately, there are some immersion issues with The Secret World. You can see that my character has bright pink ski goggles and blue Vans on his feet, all while wearing the classic black duster. There are not a whole lot of wardrobe options yet, which is fine, it's in the beta, but what's there right now really looks and feels wrong a lot of the time. It feels wrong for this type of story. Imagine fighting off a never-ending horde of zombies in a small New England town, when suddenly the heroine walks out of the woods blasting zombies with bizarre powers and a sledgehammer. She walks up to you covered in zombie gore, and that's when you realize she's wearing Daisy Dukes. Yeah, it's sexy, but something like that belongs more in Shaun of the Dead and not a serious monster story, which this is trying to be. This issue can be solved pretty easily, and it's not that big of a deal for me. It just is startling at first. My real problem with The Secret World is that the voice acting is hit or miss. Sometimes it's good, but often it falls flat. Just as an example, the first town you go to save is in rural Maine. I grew up in Maine. I know what a real New England accent is, and most of the voice actors sounded like they were from New York, not Maine. There's a big difference. Some of them get it right, but most don't. That is the danger of using a modern-day setting. If a player knows the region where the story is set, they can tell when something is out of place really easily, thus hurting the immersion that most gamers crave. Despite these problems, the story is great and the storytelling is very well done. They focus on characters, and that's why it's good. They don't try to spook you and scare you. They don't have cheap gimmicks. They have characters. And I found myself wanting to find out about everyone in town. I haven't been compelled to do something like that in a long time in a game. The Secret World has a very compelling and very well told storyline. Combine that with a great gameplay, and this game could go really far, but it's subscription based, and I think that will hurt it. Why? Well, tell me what happened to the Old Republic. A lot of people played it for the story, and then left it because it was not worth it to them to keep playing. The Old Republic was supposed to be this amazing MMO, but you never hear about it anymore. Yes, people still play it, but so many people do not want to deal with subscription-based games anymore, not when there are better options out there. The same thing could happen to The Secret World. It has a great story and good gameplay, but what happens when the players get done with the story? Why should they keep paying to play it? The PvP better be amazing if Funcom doesn't tweak The Secret World anymore, because without an amazing PvP side to the game, as it is, the subscriptions will fall drastically by the 3rd and 4th months.